Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's event. I do apologize. I know we're a couple minutes late here starting. And actually, if you didn't receive the time change notification from our original email, we had actually changed it by about a half hour. So technically, originally, we were going to start about a half hour prior. But with the time change factored in, we are still about 5 minutes late kicking off here. So I do apologize. We're just having some technical difficulties. Currently on the back end, we're just trying to get everybody kind of logged in and ready to go for today's session. So I will be able to start the actual presentation in just a minute or two here. Before I get into that, I'll just kind of mention to everyone here that this whole session will be recorded today. So if you miss anything, or if the doorbell rings or the phone rings or something and you miss a part of it, you will get a full recording of this session afterwards. And I'll probably mention that a few times throughout the session here. Let me just see what the status of the speaker is here. Just going to make sure everybody's in the room before we fully kick this off here. In the meantime, maybe you guys can share in the chat where you are joining the session from. I'm originally from Ontario. I am currently living in Alberta, but I also lived in BC. I've hit 3 of the Canadian provinces. Vancouver, nice. Nice. I've been to Vancouver. This side from Vancouver. Montreal, Alberta. Yay, Alberta. I'm in Alberta. Oh, it's Connor. I know Connor. Richmond, Orlando, Vancouver. Grew up in Ontario. Where did you grow up, Kimberly? I did too. Victoria, Nanaimo. Nice. Montreal. Been to almost all these places, although Montreal, I've just been to the airport. I would love to see the city of Montreal at some point. I've got to go and check it out, but I hear it's beautiful. Tofino, I love Tofino. Tofino is one of my favorite places too. Grimsby, near Hamilton, then Newmarket. Nice. I'm from Niagara Falls, so not too far. I have lots of family and friends that live in the Hamilton area or worked out that way. Stony Creek. Montreal to Pickering to Langley. Nice. That's a good journey. Penticton. Oh, I love Penticton too. You got the big peach out there. I've been out that way. Niagara's pretty sweet. Yeah, it's not too bad. The falls are beautiful. I was just back there probably about a month or two ago to visit. Hold on here, guys. Let me just check on the speaker status to see if everybody is in the room here. They are not. So just give me 1 second. Hey, Carlos, I can see you're in the room there. If you can see me and hear me right now, Carlos, I need you to go out with this link and use the emailed link that I had sent to you previously. So just look for an email from Livestorm or from CircuitStream. The link that was sent in Slack is not going to work here. It's just going to keep bringing you in, not as the guest speaker, so I won't be able to bring you up on stage. So if you just look in your email for that specific link, that will be the one you'll need to use. Or Carlos, if you send me another email address, I can register you right now, and I can kind of get you in as a guest speaker, and then you should receive a fresh email in that inbox, whatever the case may be. But maybe just send me a message on Slack, Carlos, if you don't mind, just so that we can kind of get this going here. We've got quite a few people waiting in here to get this going here now. I don't want to leave you lovely folks waiting. I can also go over the room. So you guys found the chat log in the bottom right corner. Excuse me. But there's also a questions tab down there too. There is polls, the people. So basically, feel free to engage with the chat throughout the entire presentation here today. If you guys have any questions, I would encourage you to put your questions into the questions tab versus the chat one. What we'll do is go through all the Q&A at the end, and then basically, so don't feel like we're ignoring your questions, I guess is what I mean to say as we go through. The goal is to kind of go through them all at the end. So let me just see here. Sorry, folks, just 1 second here. Sorry, folks. Just trying to get this sorted out and get the speaker in here. Carlos, if you can hear me, do you have another email we could maybe try just to kind of speed this up a little bit? Okay. So Carlos, just keep an eye on that email inbox. I'm going to try and add you again here real quick, and hopefully this works. And again, apologies, folks. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay. So Carlos, I just sent that email. It should anyways. You should receive a link in that email. And if you click on that one, it should allow you to come up on the stage here with me. So just double check that, that inbox there. Yes, Maddie, we hold several, but this one's also going to be recorded. So stay for as long as you're able to today, but then afterwards you can leave whenever you need to, and just check your email inbox later tonight. You'll get a full recording of this. But outside of that, we do host events regularly as well. So I can always, you can always go to our website and kind of take a look at the upcoming events too. Or you can go to our YouTube channel actually and click on a bunch of previous events we did as well. So there's several options there for you. Let me just see. There we go. Carlos, you're in as a speaker. This is perfect. All right. So folks, I'm happy to announce we're all set to go here. We should be good. We should be. There we go. Okay. All right. So without further ado, again, thanks for your patience here, folks. Sorry for the delay. I am going to share the screen to get the presentation kicked off. So so for anybody who may have just come in, again, welcome. We are going to take a look at our Software Development Bootcamp today, and we have the guest speaker is one of our instructors. So I'm just going to, I'll invite him up in a few minutes. I'm going to kind of just do some intros here first. I'm going to share some details about the course and about us, and then I'll invite him up on stage. So I'll start off with some intros. Myself, my name is Tyler Trapp. I am today's event host, but I'm also the marketing events manager at CircuitStream. And I've been here for just about, I guess, about 3.5 years now. I was going to say just over 3 years, but it's probably been about a half year since I actually said that last. So it's about 3.5 years. And Carlos, I'm not inviting you up quite yet, but I will have Carlos on stage in just a few minutes after I go through some of the course details and just some general information here. And like I said, he's one of our bootcamp instructors, and I'm just going to ask him some questions about the course and his experience in the class there. And then also, so Connor's in the room here. Connor's not joining us up on stage per se, but Connor is one of our enrollment advisors at CircuitStream. And I asked him to join today's session. So if anybody has any questions about, upcoming cohorts or pricing or, whatever the case may be, he can kind of share those details with you. So feel free to put your questions about that stuff in the questions tab, and he'll keep an eye on the questions tab throughout. Those might be the only questions that get answered kind of throughout the presentation, but I will make sure to make a note of them at the end as we're doing the Q&A too, just to make sure we don't overlook anything that way. So if you guys need anything at all from Connor, he is in the chat, and he'll be here throughout the whole session. So feel free to reach out and connect with him. You might have some meeting space available too for after the session if anybody has any follow-up questions. I can't guarantee that. I don't know how his schedule might be filled, but we can always check with him there. So I'll start off here with a little bit of an intro. For us at CircuitStream, we began in 2015 through a network of developers, designers, and creators. And we are now a leading provider of technology learning in different areas like AR, VR, game development, game design, software development, product management, so on and so forth. We've got more than that too. We also partner with industry-leading companies and leading educational institutions to offer courses and training to those looking to learn more about emerging technologies. And you can see some of our partners up on the screen there. So why launch a career in software development? Software developers collaborate with project managers, designers, and end users to understand requirements and translate them into functional software solutions. They're responsible for designing, coding, testing, and maintaining software applications and systems. The combination of intellectual challenge, creative expression, collaboration, and impact makes being a software developer a deeply fulfilling and very rewarding profession. On screen, you can just see some of the top reasons why people may choose to work as software developers. All right, and acquiring software skills in Canada positions individuals to excel in a variety of industries and contribute to overall economic growth. The average salary for a software developer in Canada right now is $104,000 per year. Specifically within British Columbia, you can kind of see some of the opportunities listed there. There's many different titles that software developers are hired for, including programmers, software engineers, front-end, back-end developers. So when people are kind of completing any sort of education and getting launched out into, the industry looking for opportunities, I usually encourage them to look for roles beyond just software development titles, because there's programmers, there's software engineers, there's a bunch of different titles that kind of fall under that umbrella. But yeah, within BC, according to the BC Tech Association, there are over 15,000 job openings for software developers in BC each year, and over 220,000 people directly employed in that industry just in that province alone. In Quebec, there are also opportunities that are abundant and varied, especially major cities like Montreal and Quebec City. The average annual salary for software developers in Quebec right now is $97,000. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the actual bootcamp itself. So our hands-on 36-week software development bootcamp is both online and project-based. It has 5 hours of live class per week, 2.5 hours of technical bi-weekly career labs, and 10 hours of independent study. There are weekly assignments, in-class challenges, portfolio projects, and students complete a capstone project at the end of the bootcamp. Over the course of these 36 weeks, students acquire the skills to master the craft of developing advanced, scalable software systems, including leveraging modern AI tools to code faster and smarter. Of course, AI is kind of getting injected into everything these days. This foundational course is an excellent starting point for those aiming to establish a career in software development, offering an in-depth introduction to the industry's core practices and emerging trends. And again, just some of our partners there. Our bootcamp graduates emerge with a comprehensive set of skills that prepare them for success in the dynamic field of software development. Through in-depth modules like Software Development Foundations, students gain the ability to conceptualize and create solutions to complex problems, fostering critical thinking and analytical reasoning. Graduates are also educated in areas like front-end development, full-stack integration, system design, and algorithmic thinking, AI-enhanced software development, and more, as you can see on the screen there. Students receive career development support and complete this bootcamp with software developer certification. So that's just a little bit about the course outcomes from the bootcamp there. Students also complete this bootcamp with software developer certification, and this would be through CircuitStream, and then of course through our university partners as well. So you can see UBC and McGill would be listed there. So it kind of just depends on where you take the course. if you take it through us directly or if you're taking it through us and one of our university partners there. And then speaking of career development support, all of our boot camps come with ample career support and guidance. We provide career labs that teach students how to leverage technical and behavioral strengths, gain awareness of the digital ecosystem, create compelling portfolios, elevate digital presence, learn how to network effectively, and become interview ready for industry jobs. Our career networking support really sets our programs apart from others that you may find out there. Every student comes to us with different objectives, but for those who are looking for new jobs, those who are looking to improve on their current positions, they tend to find this incredibly helpful for them. So just a little bit about our career development. And then as a part of that, actually, our boot camps also come with a student pitch day that happens towards the end of the program. Students have the opportunity to showcase their capstone projects to hiring and industry partners during this event. It's an amazing way to add people to the network, to be considered for any job openings, or just to receive feedback from people. I mean, it's not often you kind of get into a room with a bunch of industry professionals who are currently working as software developers that you kind of pick their brain, show them your work, and maybe ask them for some guidance or just some general questions about what you're hoping to accomplish as a developer there. So that's the pitch day that we have. And then here are some examples of our hiring partners, and these ones are obviously for the Software Development Bootcamp that may be attending our upcoming pitch days. They may also attend our upcoming AMA session. So we have exclusive Ask Me Anything sessions that we run for just the students who are currently in our courses. So if you're registered for one of our software development boot camps, you would get invitations to these private sessions where, again, you just get the opportunity to sit with an industry professional and really pick their brain, ask them kind of any questions that you'd like, about how to stand out, how to break in, what to look out for, how to be the most prepared, whatever the case may be there. So that is a little bit about the course. And now I'm going to officially invite today's speaker up on stage. Carlos is one of our software development instructors. He's going to join me on stage here, and I'm going to ask him some questions about our Software Development Bootcamp and how it helps our students launch their careers. So Carlos, if you like, just go ahead and hit the join stage button at the bottom there, and you can join me up here on the stage.
Hi, Tyler. Can you hear me?
We can. Yeah, that's perfect.
Excellent.
So Carlos, a forewarning, Carlos, I'm going to make your screen big. So you're going to go over here, just so it doesn't shock you when your screen goes big there. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll ask you some general questions just about the course there, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. And I see a comment in the side there about TikTok getting banned. I don't think it's getting banned. I think the US overturned it, but I hope it doesn't in Canada. But all right. So Carlos, the first question I'll ask you about the bootcamp is what kind of student skill level is this bootcamp best suited for? And do they need any sort of prior experience before they start?
Yeah. So thank you very much for your question, Tyler. So the bootcamp has been designed for students of any level, right? So this course can be taken for beginners, for intermediate students. So what I recommend is to having some computer literacy. Basically that, but the thing is that in this bootcamp, we cover all the topics from the very beginning. So if you are a beginner and you have desire to learn, this is the right place for you.
Perfect. Yeah. So no, and one of the big things we get a lot is, do I have to know coding? And it's like, no, just like Carlos said, just some general computer literacy is probably the best. And having access, I guess, to the internet and to a system, a laptop or a computer, of course, would be important too. But sorry, I'm seeing the comments in the chat. We'll be banned about 75 days. Oh, all right. Well, I guess we'll see the updates and whatever happens there. But all right, Carlos, next question for you here is, what do you personally enjoy most about teaching the bootcamp, and why do you believe in its value?
Yeah, so there are many things that I enjoy from teaching. One of the things that I enjoy the most is to see my students growing, right? From being a beginner, growing to become a confident developer. So that's what I enjoy the most of this bootcamp. right? So see how students grow, how they learn the different topics that we teach in the bootcamp, right? And then when they get a job, that's not only an achievement for them, but also for me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because you got to see them right from the get go, and oftentimes they have no experience at all when they start. So, yeah, that's great. All right. Well, can you give us a general overview of the Software Bootcamp? Maybe like
Mhm.
what are some of the main topics that are covered throughout the course?
So in this bootcamp, we covered different topics. All of these topics are related, are directed to help you build web applications. So we teach you how to build a front-end application, right? All that will related with building front-end applications and topics related with front-end applications. Then we move to the backend side of the application. Right? So we teach you how to build a backend application, security measures that you have to apply, different frameworks that we have to use. So we have the front end, the back end, and we also work on the database. So we use MySQL and we use MongoDB to store the data for our web application. So then we integrate these three components, right? So that's the topics that we cover in the bootcamp.
Amazing, amazing. And yeah, if anybody in the audience wants to see a little bit more of an in-depth version, more than we can kind of talk about in the live session, we do have the course syllabus available for you too. And we can, I think I'm going to share some stuff in the presentation later for you on that. But you can also connect with Connor in the chat there, and he can always kind of guide you that way if you need a course syllabus. Or you can go to our website, circuitstream.com, click on the Software Development Bootcamp, and just hit request syllabus. And I think once you give your email, we can send it out to you there. So, all right. So next question here is what specific tools and programming languages are taught in the course?
Yeah, so we cover multiple tools, and but we focus on JavaScript, right? So JavaScript is the main programming language in our bootcamp. Basically, because that's the trend of the industry. That's why we are using bootcamp, right? Sorry, we are using JavaScript in the bootcamp, right? Then we have different frameworks in JavaScript. So we use React in the front end and then we use Express with Mongoose for database access in the backend. So those are the main frameworks based on JavaScript.
Amazing. Yeah, and then again in the syllabus, it's going to give you like a full listing of all the tools we use. I mean, obviously we're kind of sharing the predominant ones, but there's a whole bunch in there too that you could kind of take a look at on our website and on the syllabus there too. And then, so Carlos, how are the lessons, projects, and assignments organized in terms of like a weekly, monthly basis throughout the entire course?
Yeah, so we have classes 3 times a week, or sorry, 2 times a week. So and we cover different topics. We have a laboratory every month when we add additional topics that are important to learn. We also have different assignments, right? So to cover those topics that we are teaching in class. For example, we have an assignment for HTML, for CSS. Then we have another assignment for the front end with JavaScript. We have another assignment for the backend for Express. So students have to submit their assignments, and those assignments are graded by me, and I give them a special feedback to help them improve their projects.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, and then let me see here. So how are the lessons? Oh no, I think I just did that one. How can you share an example of a type of project that students work on during the course? Is there any one that they? I mean, I know they have their capstones at the end, but is there
Mhm.
another one that they might work on throughout the course that's kind of worth noting there?
For example, in the current bootcamp, students in 2 weeks they have to submit an assignment where they build an application with a front end, back end, and they have to protect their application with a security framework called Passport. So that's the assignment that we are going to have. I mean, this is due in 2 weeks, right? And students are working on that now. I'm getting questions from them. Some of them send me their projects, so I have a look to see if they are doing the right way, right? So we have constant feedback, right? Anyone that needs help can contact me, and I can help them.
Amazing. And what, in terms of the capstone project, what do they do for that one?
So for the capstone project, basically they have to apply all the things that we have learned in the bootcamp. So they have to learn they have to apply the front end, back end database, and they have to deploy that in a cloud-based environment.
Oh,
That's
amazing.
for the capstone.
Awesome. Yeah. So it kind of takes all your lessons throughout the entire boot camp and
Yep.
encompasses it into one final project. Awesome. That's really cool. Okay. And then what sort of support do students receive throughout the program, both from yourself and maybe from their additional peers, or through
Mhm.
Discord?
Yeah, so we have different channels for support. Well, I always encourage my students to ask questions in class. I actually love questions, right? I learn a lot from the questions as well. We have a Discord channel where students can post their questions, right? And they can collaborate with each other. We also have premium support. So if they have issues with an assignment, a project, something is not working, they can send us an email, and we help them with any issue they have during the bootcamp.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. So they get, and then in terms of that, the Discord channel that we kind of mentioned too. Basically, we have a network, and once students finish the course, we don't boot them out. So they're welcome to stay in that network too, and kind of get continued access, connectivity, and support after they've kind of completed the boot camp as well. So,
Mhm.
okay, what else do I have here for you? What is the average time commitment per week, and how flexible is the program for people who may have jobs or busy schedules?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. So we have classes, right? 5 hours a week. And depending on the level of the student, some of them maybe require more effort, especially the beginner. But I recommend after class, maybe 5 or 6 hours practicing the exercises that we give in class. The topics would be great. So in total will be 5 hours in class, and after class 5 to 6 hours
Perfect. Okay. And then yeah,
per week.
everything's and it's
Mhm.
recorded too, right? So if they had
Yep.
I mean it's
Yep.
encouraged that they attend live, but if there was something
Yep.
that happened, they could always go back and review the
Yep.
recordings as well.
So we upload the recordings after each session. So if for some reason you were late or you weren't able to come to class, you always have access to those recordings that I upload to the LMS of the course.
Awesome. 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 Okay. Um and then in your own personal opinion, Carlos, how
Mhm.
do you believe this bootcamp prepares students for real world software development roles and situations?
So we constantly monitor the new trends in the market, and we are updating the bootcamp according to those trends. And this bootcamp equip the students with all the knowledge that they need to be able to get a job as a software developer.
Amazing. Yeah, I know just based on what you said too, like it's covering front end and back end, like, and then you have to kind of combine everything at the end. So it seems like it's a pretty well-rounded course overall. So,
Mhm.
um, and then what kind of career support or resources are provided during and after the boot camp?
So I understand that there is support for resume review. There also support for preparing you for the interviews. I'm also going to be in charge of that. Actually, I interview people for in real life for the company I work for. So I hired software developers, senior developers. So I know the questions that you may have in a real interview. So I make the same questions in the or similar questions in the interview to the students.
Amazing. Yeah. And then, I mean, I kind of touched on it, I guess, in my presentation too, but you guys saw like the pitch day and the, all that
Yep.
kind of stuff is a huge part of our career program overall. So lots of career support. And then how does the bootcamp incorporate industry trends and ensure students learn relevant in-demand skills? You kind of touched on that, I guess, already based on what we just
Yep.
said. Hey,
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, we can jump over that one. It's very similar. You're basically kind of pulling the most up-to-date information
Yep.
and injecting it into the course. Yeah. Cool. Okay. And are there networking opportunities for students during and after the course? I guess we kind of touched on that before, but I'll let you answer that one.
Yep. Yeah. So we have the Ask Me Anything activity. We also have the pitch day that remember you mentioned before, the
Mm-hmm.
pitch day, and where the students can network with other students. Right. So we have multiple opportunities for networking also on Discord. The students can help each other. So that's another opportunity for networking.
Yeah, lots of networking opportunity here. That's for sure. And people like software developers, game developers, like anybody in this world, development is usually pretty supportive. People are pretty kind. They always want to assist and help each other. So lots of support, even beyond what we offer, just through the people that are working here. So, and what advice would you give to someone who's interested in signing up for a course like this one, but might not be sure if it's right for them or if it's a good idea?
So I would say that if you have a desire for learning software development, um, and I think this is the right place where you can start, right? So if you have that desire, you want to move forward, right? You want to become a software developer, this is the right bootcamp for you, right? We are going to cover the latest technologies using JavaScript. So this is going to be a great opportunity for you to get into the IT industry as a developer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, and I think I've only got one or two more questions for you here, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just this last one. How can potential students sign up or get more information about this boot camp? I guess I can kind of help answer this one too. So I'm going to share some details with you guys in just a minute here. I'm going to provide some links. I'm going to let you know the upcoming cohort dates that we have. But we also have Connor in the chat there too. So if anybody was interested about getting more information about the boot camp, if you wanted to try and secure one of the spots with Connor, he might have some availability today. So if you wanted to pick his brain for 10 minutes after this session, just maybe make it known in the chat there, and he can make a note. And again, I don't know how much availability. He might only have time to connect with one or two people here today, but just let us know if that's something that you want to do, and we can absolutely set something up for you there. But we're going to do Q&A here in just a second. Carlos, I'm going to slide you over to the side of the screen here again, and I'm going to bring the presentation big. You can mute yourself for just a sec if you want, Carlos, and then we can do some Q&A together in just a minute, if that's okay.
Yep, sure.
Awesome. All right. So I'm just going to share some details here with you guys. Like I said, about the upcoming cohorts, pricing, that kind of stuff there. So I will start here with the bootcamp tuition. So yeah, this bootcamp is $14,995. And then just in terms of payment options, obviously Connor's here. So if anybody has any questions about that stuff, you can just kind of reach out to him for that. But we do have finance plans available so that you can pay for the course over a period of time versus kind of all up front. So that's a bit on the pricing information. In terms of the upcoming cohort start dates, February 11th and March 11th are the next two start dates that we have. They run through February 11th to October 23rd, and then March 11th through to December 2nd. I'm not sure how many spaces we have left in these classes, but if you are interested in registering, please let us know. For the February one, I'd say, probably let us know sooner rather than later, just in terms of availability, and the enrollment cutoff is going to be on the 4th. So it will be coming in pretty quickly. So yeah, let us know if you have any interest. Those are the 2 upcoming start dates that we have for the next 2 cohorts. And then in terms of contact information, this is the easiest way to get a hold of us here. These are the phone numbers you can use to contact us. And then of course the email addresses too. This whole session will be recorded. I know I mentioned that earlier, but if you don't write these down, for example, and then in an hour or 2, you're like, oh, darn, I wish I had that information. You will get an email with the full recording. So you can just kind of scroll through and find this information near the end of this session here. But that's the contact details. And like I said, Connor is in the room here with us. So he can kind of forego the process of having to get set up. He can just answer questions for you directly now if you have anything there too. So without further ado, I'm just going to close this screen, and you and I, Carlos, will be up here. I'm going to switch over to the questions tab, and we can just kind of take a look through some of these, see what we have. Okay, so the first question here, normally I would put these up on the screen so that we can answer them. But if we were proactive and answered behind, I can't make it show up on the screen, but I can read what the question said and give you the answer that we provided. So the first question here was asking about the employment rate for people who completed this bootcamp. Connor did respond to that one. And since the cohorts hasn't fully wrapped, this is one of our newer bootcamps. So we've been running like game development for years, game design, XR development design, a bunch of different types of courses, but the software one is a little bit newer for us in the sense that we don't have the graduate information to share with you guys yet. But we can share the successful information from some of our other courses or programs if you'd like that. And then we can provide obviously any other details that you like there. Is it realistic to think that I'd be able to enter the industry with only this certification without another degree? Absolutely. So Connor did answer this one too already. But absolutely a handful of our students just recently have landed entry-level jobs without having any other experience. I know that this happens across the board for all of our boot camps. So happens in game development, game design, software development, product management. So it really kind of depends on what you're looking to do. If you have no prior experience at all, you're starting out completely brand new and you're looking for an opportunity right away, it might take you a little bit longer than somebody who has some prior experience and they're kind of going into it. Or say somebody who's working in a career position and they're looking to include this into their current role. They may have an opportunity to secure something faster because they're already working in the company. So it's, I mean, there's a million different answers to this, but in terms of, is it realistic to think that you would be able to enter the industry? Absolutely. Yeah, you could absolutely do that with this course certification. So I just don't be like applying for, the most senior software development engineer roles right out the gate, because you're probably going to have to work up to that. But for entry-level positions, absolutely. That's what this course would kind of get you prepared for. So, all right. And there's another one here. Is there a benefit to take this course if you already have a bachelor's in mechatronics engineering? Would this help land a job in the industry, robotics, AI, machine learning? Yeah, I see Connor said he'd be happy to kind of connect with you afterwards, Nur, and share some more information there. But absolutely. I mean, one thing I'd say is take a look at the course syllabus, really understand kind of each of the sections and see if that's the areas that you're wanting to kind of learn and grow in. But aside from that, we're kind of always iterating our course materials to be the most up to date. So you're certainly going to get something that is current, relevant, and kind of, helping you prepare for jobs that are out there right now. Sorry, Carlos, were you going to say something there too?
So actually the foundation that we learn apply to any other programming language, right? So once you learn JavaScript, which is the main programming language that we learn in the bootcamp, you can then, if you want to learn Python for AI, it's very easy to switch to Python because these concepts apply for basically any object-oriented programming language.
Absolutely. And yeah, I would say that would put you in a better position for opportunities in robotics, machine learning. I mean, AI is kind of in everything right now. So Yeah, so Noor, hopefully that helped answer your question there. But I'd suggest take up Connor on his recommendation there. Maybe connect with Connor, and he can share some more details on that too. The next question here was, are we able to specialize in different language that is more prominent? So this, I don't know if that's the one you were just kind of referring to there, Carlos, too, but so while we don't cover Python specifically, the foundational skills that you gain can definitely set you up to specialize in languages like Python afterwards. So everything Carlos just said a second ago there, basically, it's once you learn one coding language, you're able to kind of transfer those skills to a whole, basically all the other coding languages. So it's not an exact match by any means. It's like, I always compare it to learning like French and Italian and Spanish, maybe, because they're all quite similar and there's a lot of similarities between them, but they're not exactly the same language. So you're obviously going to have to do, and it might not even be that difficult. It might be easier to transfer between coding languages than it is between Italian and French. But all right, so the next question here is, what makes this stand out rather than taking an online course for software development, like what Code Academy or others offer online for only a couple $100? Yeah, the career support is probably the biggest thing. The mentorship, the job placement assistance, the networking, everything Connor's kind of put in that response there is exactly what I would mirror back to. We just have a really dedicated system to try and help people go from zero experience to being able to move into a career. So usually those courses you'd find online are not going to go quite as in depth. And if it's only a couple $100, they're likely not offering anything in the way of like career support or job placement assistance or, anything like that. So those are probably the biggest things. But yeah, again, if you have any more questions there on that, Jordan, Connor can absolutely kind of connect with you on that too. All right, I can put this one up. For the price, could someone could take the first year of a degree in software? Someone else asked, does this qualify you? Yeah, absolutely. So I would say like it's gonna be a continuous learning thing for a journey for you. Like once you complete our course, you're going to be in a position for more entry level and beginner level jobs. So if you're looking to become a full stack developer, or if you're looking for something like a little bit more in depth, maybe Carlos can expand on that too. Like in terms of full stack developer jobs, there are entry level positions for that, eh?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, so that's what you'd be looking for basically is anything that's entry level, unless of course, Jordan, you have some previous experience. If you have some coding experience or if you have something else there too, you might be able to combine that with the course and get something a little bit above an entry level. But if this would be something like a new venture for you, brand new, that's probably what you're going to be looking for. And the goal is to kind of get your foot in the door. Most companies, most people I know working in any companies certainly didn't learn everything that there is to know about their job before they started. They learned what they needed to do to get the job. They got in the door. And then as they work for the company, they end up learning and growing with it. I know in my role, I work in marketing and I'm using a ton of tools now that I wasn't using in marketing roles, 5-10 years ago. So it's impossible to kind of know everything, but you need to kind of get those base skills, get your foot in the door, and then kind of build your career and your portfolio over time, whether that's, in little side projects you do, if you decide to, do some software development on your own or through your company and just kind of growing through that. So. Okay, for the mobile application development part, is the program suitable for both iOS and Android? That's right. Hey, Carlos?
Yep, that's correct. So we use React Native that works on both iOS and Android.
Perfect. All right, that was an easy one. And then Corey, just curious about what starting wages are for somebody who's entering the industry. Connor answered that one there. So entry-level software engineer in Canada ranges between about 68,000 to 102 per year. Really depends on the company that you're working for, depends on what type of role. Obviously entry level, you said, so probably near the lower end of that range, I would say, or like to mid-level. But honestly, it really depends. You might be looking for a huge company that you've had your eye on for years, and you might be lucky enough to secure a position right out the gate, an entry level one that'll pay you a little bit on the higher scale for that type. Whereas if you connected with an opportunity, maybe a smaller company, but you wanted to get your foot in the door, you might end up on the lower end of that range. But it honestly, it really depends. But that's a great answer though, Connor, just kind of given the overall range. As for the certification, what institution is it issued by? UBC McGill. So all of our programs are offered online. You have the choice to pursue a certificate through UBC or McGill or CircuitStream directly. So exactly what Connor said. So basically you can sign up through CircuitStream with no university attached, or you can sign up through McGill or through UBC, and then your certification is going to have that included on it as well. Okay, so do we select which institution we want to conduct the course and certification with when we enroll? Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what you do. Just make sure that you're registering through the university partner that you're wanting to have that certification through. And again, Connor can provide more details for you on that. If you connect with him on a chat after this, he can kind of give you more details there. But I believe you can just pick between them. So, and then is this bootcamp considered part-time, Carlos?
I don't understand exactly the question. So you're talking about a part-time job or something?
No, so they were asking if the bootcamp itself was considered part-time. Like, would it be the same amount of time as a full-time job would take up in a week, or would it take up about the same amount of time as a part-time job would throughout the week?
I would say that less than a part-time job. So remember I said that you will have to dedicate maybe 11, 12 hours per week. So a part-time job would be 20. So this is a bit less than a part-time job.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. All right. Are there different enrollment requirements depending on which institution we choose? No, the course is the same through UBC, through us directly at CircuitStream. It's all the same. And in fact, we combine our cohorts on the back end. So if you register through one of the university partners or you register directly through CircuitStream, chances are you guys are going to end up in, as long as you sign for the same cohort and time slot, you may end up in the same room together, online space, but online room together. And we do that thoughtfully and intentionally because we want people to be able to network. So if, it'd be a little bit, I don't know, in my opinion, it would be strange to kind of just segregate the people who are signing up for the same course, depending on if they signed up through one university versus the other. This way, everybody at like McGill can kind of connect with people at UBC, can connect with people who do it through CircuitStream. But to answer your question, there's no difference in the enrollment requirements, and the course materials are exactly the same. And let's see, part-time learning, asking to understand more about student aid and funding availability. So this is probably a really good question, Kimberly, for you to connect with Connor on. I'd say, Connor, do you have your meeting link available? If you have your meeting link available, I don't know if it's something we can push out right now, but if you have it available, maybe just make it a pop-up on the screen right now. Let's see if it's, oh, here, let me see. There we go. Yeah. So book a meeting with Connor there down in the bottom. If anybody wants to book one with him, just use that link down there. And you can book a direct meeting with him right now. Oh, I should also mention, guys, I added a few more polls in there. So while we're doing this Q&A, feel free to open the polls tab and just kind of give some quick responses to those. Your feedback always helps me kind of build up these sessions and include the most relevant information for you there that I can. Okay. And another question, I saw the course outline, how in depth are things covered? Many jobs say you need as low as 2 and as high as 5 years of experience in certain language in a program. Will this course meet those requirements for those jobs? So any job that's kind of saying you need several years of experience, no matter what education you take, it's not going to necessarily give you the years of experience. The benefit to the bootcamp is that it is project-based and you build a portfolio throughout the bootcamp. So you can present that when you're looking for an opportunity. So even if a company says we need 2 to 5 years of experience and you don't have that, but you apply for the job and you provide your resume and you give a portfolio and showing the projects and with a good, clear explanation of what you've done, the employer may not care about the commitment into the 2 to 5 years of required experience, because they may look at it and say, hey, this person knows exactly how to do what we want them to do. So, sometimes those numbers don't fully matter, and what you can display in terms of your knowledge and what you're able to do is a little bit more important. But just flat across the board, if a company is asking for years of experience, the way that you do that is by kind of building things up, doing projects. So this would be a really good way for you to start that. If you do a university program, sometimes you don't actually get to start gaining experience until you've finished your 4 years. That's kind of the benefit of boot camps. You build your portfolios right as you're going through. So it gives you, it's a shorter amount of time, and you kind of get launched out into the industry with a bit more to show for yourself right away, in terms of a resume or portfolio, I guess. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. What kind of job opportunities come with this course? Is it just junior software developers? So we don't offer direct opportunities. Like, you don't take the course and you're not guaranteed like into a junior developer role per se. What we have is employer partners and companies that come through. And then we offer career support in terms of working with our students to create resumes and teach them how to, do interviews. We have private AMA sessions with industry professionals. You can kind of pick their brains and ask them how to stand out. And ultimately those people are working in industry. So you might even be able to find some opportunities through some of those connections at Pitch Day or through the AMAs. But in terms of what types of roles you should be looking for, if you have no prior experience and this course is your only experience, I would recommend junior software developer roles or entry-level roles. Those are probably going to be the ones that you'd qualify for after just your first level of education. But you work in that role for a year, 2 years, and you would be in a much different position. You'd obviously be able to climb the ladder like you would in any industry with the more experience that you kind of gain there. So. And I did some research regarding similar courses, and they all required English, math, physics. Is there no requirement here? Will this present challenges for those who do not have these prerequisites other than programs require? So we don't have any prerequisites for the course. We start at a very base level, but maybe you could touch on that, Carlos, in terms of English, math, and physics in the course there.
Yeah. So normally, you don't need to know math, physics. Well, you need to know English, right? Because we deliver the bootcamp in English. But if you are good at math and physics, maybe that will help, right? Because normally the people that are good at those courses, they have those solving skills that we always look in our students. But there's no specific need for having those skills or that knowledge.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, so let me see here. I'm just going to flip over to the chat really quickly. I think we hit all the questions here, guys. And Connor's link is still in the bottom, unless you X'd out on your side, I guess. It's showing on my side. Here, let me, I'll add it one more time just in case, but I'll put it up here. There we go. So that's says my name. Ignore that. That's actually a meeting link with Connor. So if anybody does want to book something with him, feel free to go ahead and click that link, and he can kind of give you a little bit more information outside of what we shared here today. But huge thank you to you guys for joining the session, for kind of going over, for taking the time, I guess, to go over all of this with us. I'm just going to close that now on my side here. Carlos, thank you so much for taking the time to share about the bootcamp and kind of what the experience looks like for the students.
Thank you very much, Tyler, for the opportunity.
Of course, yeah. So if anybody in the crowd registers, we have a few different instructors, but Carlos may be one of the instructors that you would have for your course if you sign up there. Take a look at circuitstream.com. If you scroll down to the bottom of the website on circuitstream.com, there's a little events tab down there. And if you click that, it'll show you all of our upcoming events. I don't know if I think I have another software one coming up in a couple weeks here. So feel free to register for that. But outside of that, we just kind of look for you at future events in general. Oh, I just see I have a degree in information technology that covered parts of this program already. As my degree is in IT, I haven't had much luck finding a software developer. Well, how will this program help me, as I'm afraid parts of this bootcamp? Yeah, so I would say before you make a commitment to it, request the syllabus. Take a really close look through the syllabus beyond just the titles of each section. Like read exactly what we're going to cover, and if you think that there's too much overlap with what you already know, kind of across the board, we might even be able to work with you to do some private training sessions or something. Like I don't know exactly what that would look like, but just, yeah, start with the syllabus, have a good look through it, see what is covered throughout the entire bootcamp. And if you believe that there's enough in there that you're like, hey, I know this little bit, but I actually am missing most of this, and this is probably going to be super beneficial for me, especially since the information is going to be up to date, and it's been iterated on like within the last couple of months here. So keep all that in mind. That's probably a really good way to kind of make your first judgment there. But I'd also say if you want, maybe connect with the admissions team here too, if you have any questions after you request the syllabus, and you guys can dive a little bit more in depth and just maybe explain some of the additional areas that you're hoping to expand in, and see if our course would be able to kind of help you get there. So, all right. So I think that's it, folks. I think that's the entire session here today. Sorry for kicking off a little bit late here at the start, but we finished, I think, right on time, which is great. So if anybody has any follow-up questions, reach out to us. You can find me on LinkedIn if you like, just Tyler Trapp and Circuit Stream. If you type in those search words, you'll find me. You can probably find Carlos similarly on LinkedIn there. Yeah. So, and Connor as well, I would assume. So thank you guys so much for joining today's session. Like I said, keep an eye out for future sessions. And we'll look forward to seeing you all again. So take care, everyone. Have a fantastic day. Thanks again, Carlos.
Take it. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.